Hello, this is Adam. Welcome to my new media reflection for Com 645. Just gonna spend 7 to 8 minutes talking about the different topics for this project and things I learned from this class. So, start with question one: what does intercultural communication mean to me? It is what it is. It's the communication between cultures, whether it be big international cultures, um, racial cultures, or something as small like subcultures like DC and Marvel, things like that. Next one is how will I apply intercultural communication in my life? I've already have to do it on a almost daily basis for my job, so it'll just be improving that communication, not um, being as colorblind, because we kind of learn that that can be negative. Once you kind of start treating everyone the same, you kind of lose some of those aspects. You might create a microaggression without even realizing it, because if you treat everyone the same, you're gonna probably miss out on some nonverbal cue or something that might offend somebody. So it's important to treat uh, everyone just a little bit differently, and it's just so you can treat them all equally. And so, and that sounds contradictory, but it's really not. So how has my perception of a particular individual group of people changed after learning how communication affects our nonverbal communication? Just what I just explained in the last question, like being like, I will be very careful. Especially with a lot of Middle Eastern culture, nonverbal cues can really set some red flags in those Middle Eastern cultures. So you have to be very careful about how you say things, how you act, because any sign of aggression, even if it's not intentional, um, really can send things in a downward spiral pretty quickly. So it's pretty important to kind of recognize these cues before they happen, so you can kind of stop the microaggressions and the anger and things. So you don't offend anyone unintentionally, because I wouldn't intentionally offend someone. So what would I tell my 10-year-old self after taking this course? Well, I'd tell him a lot of things, but based on this course, at some point in time, you will think that treating everyone the same is a good idea. It is good in theory. In practice, it's a little bit different. So just keep all the small things in mind. It's not like one size fits all. It's not just you can't just act as if there's no color. You have to act within the boundaries within each culture. You can't just willy-nilly decide to treat everyone the same, because every culture is different. So handshakes are good in one culture and not okay in the other. So you have to be aware of those differences, and maybe try and meet in the middle, but try and be courteous to each culture that you are in contact with. What would I tell someone who is interested in this course? Come in with an open mind, and be prepared to be very self-reflective, because if you're not going to learn much of anything about yourself or about this course. You have to be open, both outwards and inwards. You really have to be honest and forthcoming about all the things. Otherwise, you're not going to really get what you really should be getting out of this course. And it's probably pretty important that you do get the most out of this course, because it's pretty important, especially with how the climate is politically, and with between interpersonal interactions. It's very important um, that you kind of bring all of your baggage with you in terms of intercultural communication, but also be prepared to have your worldview flipped, changed, and kind of put on its head, and be prepared to, um, you know, change how you think about certain things, even though you may have thought this way your entire life. Be prepared to completely change it to this way just because of based on interactions or things you've learned through the course studies and also interacting with your peers, because your peers among you in this class are probably going to be the ones that teach you the most. The text only goes so far. It's really the interactions with the other students that really drive home the point of the intercultural communication. So, yeah, I mean, so you, if you are racist, maybe this isn't the course for you, because I don't know if you can really change that baggage. But if you are willing to try, I beg you to take this course, because it's probably gonna affect you in some. It's probably gonna, set you down the path to very good things. So, yeah, this course has been great. I thought, I'm pretty worldly. Been around the parts of the world and learned a lot of things, but you always learn. You're probably going to learn something new. Just try and learn something new every day. You're probably going to do it. So this class has been very helpful with that, and very grateful for Dr. Bell for teaching this course, and for all of the other students in it for participating as much as they have. This course has been very insightful, so thank you. And thanks for watching, everybody, and really appreciate it. So just to go over again, course has been great. Everyone's been great. I had a lot of fun taking this course, and especially over the course of 6 weeks, it's been pretty intense, but I had a lot of fun. So thank you.